While opening today's Mailbag Monday haul, I will be enjoying Oxus Brewing's Juice of the Oats Oatmeal Stout. They describe it as an easy drinking dark ale with the aroma of coffee and chocolate, whose creamy smooth body comes from the usage of oats in the mash. I've had this one several times before and it is really nice. Fast becoming one of my favorites. Yes, that is nice. Right, what do we have here? We have Type-C male small board, it says. Huh. That's fortuitous, if it is what it is. There's a couple of different things in there. First of all, there is these Type-C interface boards. So on this side, it looks like there is a couple of bypass capacitors and the data pins. And on this side, we have 4 pins broken out, which are going to be power, ground, data plus, data minus. And then the other pins just along the edge there. So it looks like these would be best used for just for power, I would expect, or for creating adapters to USB-A, USB-B, micro, mini, nano, or whatever the other USB connectors are. So that's cool. And this other package, yoink it out there, has a USB Type-C male on one side and female on the other side. And then it has all of the pins broken out. So what do we have here? We have ground, A2, A3, VCC, A5, data plus and minus, AB, VCC again, A10, A11, ground, and S ground, which would be the shield ground. Okay. So do they all go right through? I'm assuming the ground goes right through. No, they don't. Okay. So you have to jumper them through for whatever application you want. That's interesting. So I could potentially break out from either the male or the female, just take wires out to some other cable as well. Huh. I could see that having some applications when you need a weird adapter or something. 6 pieces USB 3.1 Type-C male DIY solder cable plug connector socket attached PCB. I got these from first.ing, whoever that is. They seem to have sold a whole bunch of stuff though. I paid $2.72 Canadian with free shipping for these. But these aren't exactly the ones that I got. The ones that I got have 4 pads broken out. These ones just have the grounded voltage broken out. Oh well, it doesn't matter. That's mostly what I'm going to be using them for anyway. What does this have to say? Maximum voltage 30 volts, rated current 5 amps. Sounds good. Also from the same seller, 24 plus 2P USB 3.1 Type-C male-female test PCB board adapters socket, 2.54 millimeters, blah blah blah. Same seller, $3.16 Canadian with free shipping. Looks like they've also got just the male or just the female to a breakout. But I thought that one would be just a little bit more versatile, and it's cheaper than buying both the male and the female, so why not? Any useful information down here? No, not really. It's FR4 fiberglass. It's green. It's male to female. Whatever. I think that'll just be a handy little way to make up a quick weird adapter should I happen to need it at some point. Next in, let's go with this one. It's nice and rattly and heavy. It says connector. Oh-ho! This is a bunch of the Wago style connectors, which I tend to use a lot for just temporary connection things like these ones here. These guys are 8 pins. Okay. So I'm assuming it is all one circuit across the whole thing. Yeah, all 8 of them are in parallel. Okay, that makes sense. Because if they weren't, if they were 4 and 4, they'd probably be different colors. That way I'll just be able to have multiple things connected instead of just a couple like that. Okay. 30/50/100 pieces universal cable wire connectors 222 type, fast home compact wire connection push-in wire terminal block 2 to 8 pin. I got 30 pieces of the 8 pin, I guess, for $11.17. Oh yeah, here we go. Remember I mentioned that if they weren't all just one big parallel happy family there, they would probably have different colors to denote which is the circuit. So this one looks like it's got several different circuits, and each color just denotes where one circuit is. Anyway, back to this one. They claim a rated current of 32 amps. They can be either solid or stranded conductors between 0.8 millimeters up to 2.5 millimeters, or 28 to 12 AWG. There's just a little bit of detail of what happens inside these. There's a springy piece of conductive metal that goes across there, and then the levers just push down on individual bits to make them get out of the way so you can put your wire in, and then they spring back into place and grip onto it. They're a pretty neat connector. Next in, we have computer cable, it says. Okay. That seems like a reasonable thing. Yeah, it is a cable and a mini CD, which I don't think I have a player for. Well, no, I probably do somewhere. Anyway, this is a USB to DMX512 cable. So I'm going to guess that that is an RS485 chip, and that is probably a USB to serial chip. Fairly standard stuff. There's nothing too fancy on the hardware level of DMX512. It's using RS485 because it's a fairly robust transport protocol, and is fairly resistant to electrical interference. And then there's this thing, which probably has some clunky Windows software of unknown origin on it, so I won't be using that because, of course, there's no Windows computers in this Linux household. USB to DMX interface adapter cable, 3/6/10/12 feet length, stage light PC DMX512 controller, dimmer DMX USB signal conversion cable. Wow, that's a lot of keywords. I got the 1 meter one. I got the one with the clear USB body. And yeah, it cost me about $12.23 Canadian. I don't remember there being shipping on it at the time. There might have been. I'm not sure. Regardless, it was probably the cheapest one that I could find at the time because that tends to be how I shop. It says it supports Android or Windows 8 or Windows 7 or XP or Windows 2000 or Linux with an I or Mac OS. I'm hoping it supports Linux with a U. It seems to be using an FTDI chip inside of it. Okay. The CD has drivers. Yeah. An installation video. Okay. And it has Freestyle software. Please go to freestyler.be to download it. Okay. Well, let's just take a look at this Freestyler here. Download for Windows only. Boo hiss. Okay. I'll have to go and find some Linux software that'll run with this thing and play with it at some time in the future. Okay, next in we have electronic components, it says. Right. This one and one of the other ones was shipped from the UK, from the same warehouse, I'm assuming. So it's probably similar to that warehouse in Mississauga where a lot of this stuff gets drop shipped from. Two different little modules in little static bags. Let's see what we have here. That looks like a breadboard power supply. And that one looks like a different breadboard power supply. What's different between these two? Now this one has a 1117 and 3.3 volt. And the 5 volt version. Couple of capacitors, what looks like a little fuse over there, a couple of LEDs, and a switch between 5 and 3 volts. Okay, it's got a 12 volt barrel jack input or a USB input, and then it goes onto the rails of your breadboard like that. And then it provides power into the rails of the breadboard. This one looks like it. So this one says 5 volts and ground down here, and this one says VC and ground. So you can have 5 volts down here no matter what's happening with this switch. And then this one, I'm guessing, depending on which way that switch is set, depends whether you get 5 or 3 volts on there. Okay. And the other one is slightly different. Again, it's got the barrel jack and the USB input. Couple of filtering caps on it. Same 1117 at 3 volts and 5 volts. This one's got a 3mm LED on it and some Wii capacitors there. Looks like a diode. This one, though, has 2 switches. So each side of you can either have 3 volts on both, 5 volts on both, or 3 volts on one and 5 volts on the other one. I'm not particularly a huge fan of these things. I have another type here that I've got several of. These ones tend to come in the starter kits with a breadboard just like that one. And these guys have USB, is it micros, I think? This one's got USB. Actually, wait a minute. That's USB output, isn't it? But it's got the same 1117s on there. This one's got an on-off switch, and to select between 5 volts and 3.3 volts, you move these little jumpers. Functionally, they're all the same. This one has a fuse on it, which I really like. I'm pretty confident that's a fuse, that little kind of gold and black guy there. The rest of them don't, and I know this type doesn't because I have overcurrented the output, not on this particular one, on this one, and blown up one of these regulators and had to replace it. So on this one, I've replaced the jumper plugs with polyfuses just to protect the outputs a little bit more. Anyway, I thought I'd get a couple of different ones just to have some variety so that I can talk about them a little bit, especially for beginners, because these kind of things always come in beginner kits. I don't know, I like to put out a warning about these things now and again. But maybe we'll do a destructive test on these ones and just see which one survives better. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. I spotted variety and I thought I'd take a look at them compared to the ones I already had. That's basically it. Solderless MB102 breadboard power supply, mini USB 3.3 5 volt DC 7 to 12V, new from Satisfy Electronics. Actually, I got both of them from there. This one, the white one, was $1.79 Canadian, and that one was $1.22 or 99 whole American pennies. Yeah, they had a bit of shipping on them, but they only charged me for one shipping because I bulked them together. So, yay me, I guess. They also have that one in the listing as well. They should have both very similar specs because they're both based on the same 1117 regulator. Under 700 milliamps, 3 volts or 5 volts. Yeah, should be the same specs. They don't write it out, but they're basically just different form factors of the same thing. And the last thing is, it says CNC clip. 3D printer parts, maybe? Oh, it's these things. These are little work hold-down clamps. Woodworkers use them, machinists use them a little bit. They're more of a workshop kind of a thing. Basically, if you're making a jig and you want to just hold your work down in a repeatable manner, that's what these guys do. If you're like screen printing circuit boards or something like that, that would let you hold them down in a repeatable and kind of high pressure sort of a way. I got 2 sets of these, so 4 of them. I think I'm probably going to mount some on my drill press just to hold stuff down while I'm drilling it, just to keep my hands out of harm's way. Not that I'm the most safety conscious person in the world, but yeah, I'd like to keep all 10 of them if I could. I've managed to do it so far. Anyway, I spotted those for relatively cheap, and I figured I ought to have a few of them. 4 pieces CNC work table clamp fastening platen engraver shaped toggle router fixture. Man, these guys get a lot of keywords into one title. Got these from China CNC Zone _US. Don't know who they think they're fooling with that _US. Anyways, $4.02 Canadian at auction for the 4 of them. Just searching around a little bit, yeah, it looks like that auction was a pretty good deal for these things compared to what they normally go for. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much what we'd already figured out. Okay. I hope those will come in handy for just fixturing stuff on my drill press and whatnot. We shall see in the future. Well, that was fun, and as usual, fairly wide-ranging. Quickly go through the shipping times. These toggle hold-downs took 23 days. These Wago style connectors took 32 days. These two different types of USB-C connectors, or adapters, I guess, took 21 days. The breadboard power supplies were 24 days, and from AliExpress, this USB to DMX cable was 18 days. As I mentioned, I'm going to do some experiments with DMX, so I thought having more different ways to connect to it would be cool. Workshop stuff, just a demonstration having a variety of different ones, and those were cheap. I could have used these little USB adapters last week when I was testing this guy out, but oh well. You never know when these things are going to show up. And these are just going to come in handy for future projects and bodging around and stuff. Maybe on the railroad if I ever decide to get back to that. I'm not sure. But I don't know. The 3-conductor ones have always come in handy, so I think these ones will probably as well. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, as always. Thanks to my Patreon supporters for helping me pay for these things and for helping keep my beer fridge full. Also, thanks to my YouTube channel members for also tipping a few bucks into the old tip jar to help things keep rolling around here. I do appreciate that. Questions and comments down in the comment section as usual. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.